How's it going, everybody? Back with another review here. I'm filming this during the day. I'll be putting it up tonight on Saturday. But another review. I just watched the third episode of Halo, so I figured it's right there in my head, so I might as well just film it and I'll put it up tonight. But episode 3, obviously Thursday it airs, right? Watched it a few hours ago. I like this one more than the second one. Once again, there will be spoilers, quite a bit of spoilers in these reviews I do for Halo. I like this episode better than the last. Still not enough action going on. It's still a lot of talking. Master Chief's still not in his suit again until like the end of this episode. He has, most of his suit on except for the helmet, but I will admit I am hoping the action starts to pick up in the next one. I didn't mind this one story-wise. It was a little bit of action, but it was better than the last episode because there's better reveals in this one. Okay, so anyway, this episode, like I said, spoilers, although you know these characters, spoilers. This is the one where Cortana finally appears. Now, I fucked up. The thing in the pod is a clone of Halsey. I probably, like I said, I fucking lose track of shit quickly even after watching it, but clone of Halsey. Now she's taking the brain of this clone. This was actually kind of cool. I don't know if this was how it actually was done in like back lore of Halo, but they put a thing into her brain. Like she knows she's pretty much just made to become the AI, right? The clone. So they put a thing in her brain. They're doing stuff with Master Chief as well. So like she's connected to him, but not like, she doesn't get complete control of him yet. So they like put this thing into the clone's brain and remove like the brain and this thing, and then they put it into the thing, and then Cortana appears. Or they put it into Master Chief, right, I think, and then she, appears. She's appearing everywhere and talking with Halsey, Master Chief. The look of Cortana, in my opinion, is not bad. It's not a full-on face, like it doesn't look exactly like Cortana looks in the games. In my opinion, it's fucking close enough to remember. It resembles more of Halsey, even though that's what Cortana's based off of, in the games too, right? But it doesn't have like the Cortana look full, but you know what? Got the same coloring and everything of the character. The voice is the woman who voices her, and that's the fucking key. I will admit, I would have been more pissed. Like, I can deal with it not being Master Chief's voice. Cortana was the more important get in terms of the voice actor because she's doing more of the talking anyway over the course of the games, most of the games. Because she does kind of disappear later on. The rampant AI and all that crap, but the voice is there, so you're immediately like, oh, nice, and she's got the fucking Cortana, like, right out of the gate. She's kind of like being, not combative, but, Halsey says stuff, and she's kind of like, no, well, we can do it this way. Kind of like she's immediately, like, in her mind, like, I'm the better version of you, Halsey. She's appearing whenever she wants and kind of annoying, but wanting to be like, listen, I can do this. And Master Chief is a little apprehensive. He's like, what? I don't know. Why you keep appearing everywhere? I didn't summon you, So she's there, and it's the woman who voices her, so boom, everything's there on the Cortana front. Except a little bit of the look, but that doesn't bother me. The voice was more important. Absolutely more fucking important. But she's there now. Master Chief's still fucking around with this artifact, and now Cortana's like, oh, I can take over completely. And Halsey's like, no, I don't want you to take over completely. He can only access this, so I don't want to interfere with that yet. So eventually they'll try to take him over, but I'm assuming Cortana will be like, no, don't do this to Chief, and then they fucking both kind of have that relationship they had throughout the games. So that's going on. I'm gonna say this. This excited me. So the woman who's working with the Covenant, you get a little bit of backstory on her. It's real brief when she's a kid. And she's with this other kid. And they're looking at a book. And then these people, they're on like a mining planet, I think. And they'll like get back to work. And then all of a sudden 2 Covenant elite appear. And they have this like weird fucking rod thing glowing. And they appear and they're fucking looking for something. And it ends up being her. So they're like, is it behind her? They're like, no, it is her. Okay, and they take her back. And then they show her when she's older getting ready for her mission. That they were talking about in the last episode. Now this is where I fucking got excited. There's a part before she's gonna go on to the... She comes in alone on a Covenant Corvette. And the fucking ship, I forget what the ship's called, but I know the name of it and I got excited. The name of it was Gladius. I was like, oh shit, Gladius, baby. I was waiting for some Gladius gameplay, but they talk and they're like, oh shit, the Covenant Corvette just appeared. Came out of hyperspace or whatever the fuck they called in this. And it comes out and then they communicate and she's playing the game. She's like, oh my god, they kidnapped me, blah blah blah. And they let her on. Now this is the first part of this was sick because I think her name's Maggie. The human who's working with the Covenant's name. She's talking, and for a brief fucking second, you get the fucking hunter in its fucking hunter armor, and you see the worms moving around. It's like the bottom part of it, like you see a leg and kind of a torso. I was like, oh fuck. But then she gets on the ship, and she's like, oh, they didn't do anything to me, and all of a sudden behind her, all the fucking, are they called Lego Glow or something like that? I don't know the full name of their actual race. But the worms come out and just start fucking taking everybody out. Now, you see, this is what people thought in the trailer. Like, she had the worms come out of her. No, it's not the case. These are just the hunter worms, or Lego Glow, or Lego Logo. I don't know how you say it, but these worms just start fucking wrapping up all the Marines, all the fucking people. They just take them all out. I thought that was fucking cool. That was their action, though. That was the species action. You saw them in the hunter armor briefly, but you saw them outside of the hunter armor doing what they fucking do. Don't they also fucking, those hunter worms don't they eat tech and shit? Because right when the Covenant wanted to find them, they were eating like Forerunner artifacts, and the hunters the Covenant wanted to take them out, but then they're like, no, this is gonna be a pain in the ass, and it still was a pain in the ass. What they call the taming of the Legolo or Legolo. Anyway, I thought that was really fucking cool. They just fucking coming all over the place, taking everybody out. And you got to see briefly it in the fucking armor, very, like a portion of its body. I was like, oh fuck, give me more of that shit. I still thought it was cool, the worms taking everybody out. And then she has because she wants to find the artifact as well. She has like a thing in her finger. It's almost like, I call it a plasma finger. A little thing comes out, fucking access shit. I don't know if they enhanced her or something, the Covenant, but because she's trying to get information on the artifact, but it's not on the ship. So they want to go to the place, Martigol, the planet from the first episode where Chief finds the artifact, so they're going to go there next. Now, I'm assuming there's going to be action there because the side story is Guan wants to go back to her own planet, which is Martigol. Because there's another guy who's like a dick, I guess, and he's trying to, I guess, be more of like UNSC or some shit. I don't know. He's a guy from, I think he was in the show Torchwood, and he was in one of the Pacific Rims. He's been in other stuff, too. I think he was in Torchwood. I could be wrong. That show Torchwood, but, the spin-off of Doctor Who, but, she wants to go back to her own planet, and the guy's name's Soren, the other, the Spartan who left the program in that other episode. And, he's like, no, I made a promise to Master Chief. Or John, just called him John. Or maybe he called him Master Chief that time. Eventually, they do leave. Because she's like, I can get you money. So she wants to go back and help her community from these other group of people. Now, I'm assuming action's going to take place in the next episode because the woman is going there to find the artifact for the Covenant. Or find out more about it. She's going there first. So I'm assuming you might see some action there. But eventually he's like, fine, I'll do it for the money. He's like, if you're lying about having money, I'll just fucking give you up for the bounty that's on your head. Soren 66, who he is. I looked up his name. Oh yeah, and also Master Chief removes the emotion pellet or something they call it from his body. And Cortana's like, he shouldn't be doing that. And Halsey's like, make it seem like you're an accomplice, not a spy. You know? And she's like, oh, you gotta move it down. Then he removes it. So now all of a sudden he goes out on other parts of Reach and he's like hearing music the way other people hear it. His emotions aren't like dumbed down or whatever. That was kind of interesting for sure. Like I said, the more I watch it, the more I'm just getting used to it. Like I said, if Cortana's voice was different, I would have honestly been upset about that. The look isn't on point, but I can deal with that. The voice is there. And she does a lot of talking in the episode. And the other Spartan, he removes his thing, and one of the other Spartans sees him doing it, so there's a little, and they also, Cortana appears when Master Chief's talking to the other Spartans, and they're like, who the fuck is this? And he's like, I didn't summon you here, what are you doing here? So they're kind of like, hey, what's up? Why is he kind of getting this? Why is he doing weird shit and getting special treatment kind of thing? So I think there might be something there where they're like, hey, what's up? So he removes that thing, and now he's getting more emotions. He touches the artifact again, and he's like, oh, was this my home planet? So he's going there to his home planet, or a planet he ended up kind of growing up with a little bit with his family. So he's going there with Halsey, obviously Cortana, and the other scientist guy who's under Halsey. I don't know his name, but he's going to. They're all going there. So they're going to be doing that. I would assume next episode, Mackie or whatever is going to be doing her thing. Quan and Soren 66 are going to be doing their thing on the same planet as the woman with the Covenant. So I'm hoping to see some fucking battles there. You might see some battles also there. It's funny too, actually. They kind of allude, because Miranda Keyes is, I can't know, this other woman's name too is kind of like at odds a little bit with Halsey. She's like, I want you to take a team and continue to research this artifact so we know what the fuck it does. And shit. And Halsey doesn't know about it, But there was a part where Captain Keyes, Miranda Keyes they were intercepting, I guess, the Covenant chatter, and it was Singali. They actually say it, the actual name of the elites. Their race's name. And it was funny too, and they actually mentioned the grunts real quick, though. It's like, that's not grunts, they're too chatty, or they don't chat that much over. So there was a mention of grunts, and you saw the worms completely, like you saw the hunter worms completely, but you saw them in the armor, a split second part of them. And that'll look good. But that happened, and so you can have a lot more stuff, I think, happening in episode 4. But I like this episode. You got some hunter action. Even if it was the worms outside of the thing, because they obviously don't fucking chill out in hunter armor all the time. They're actually, they're a bunch of worms who could act. They're almost like the Flood, right? They act as almost of a hive mind when they're all together. They're stronger type fucking shit. So that was kind of cool. And they were just like working with the woman. They didn't come out of her body or anything. Because in the trailer, it made it seem like they came out of her arm. They were kind of just all over the fucking ship, just taking everybody out. She was kind of doing her thing. And you got backstory on her, but very brief, and she doesn't like humans, kind of pretty much, because they're assholes. Because the buddy she was with, the other kid, they pretty much beat to death. It looked like they beat him to death at least, so she has bad experiences, obviously, with humans. And I'm sure the Covenant have brainwashed her to an extent as well. So I can get over the fact that they brought a human to the mix, because I think they were like, no humans in the fucking mix. They hated them. But I could kind of see it. They call it the blessed one. I can maybe see them fucking turning on her maybe at some point, maybe not, because, we got what we needed out of you, because they're kind of using her in a way, right? But anyway, you get a Mercy, the Prophet of Mercy, or whatever, again, briefly as well, talking to her. And you get another elite, you get the 2 elites in the beginning. So there was a little more Covenant stuff in this. But it was still Master Chief. Oh no, now his emotions aren't dumbed down now. He's fucking experiencing things different. I don't mind all that shit, the way they're doing stuff and whatever like that. I honestly don't mind it too much. Like I said, the more I'm watching it, the more I'm accepting what they're doing, and I'm pushing the other stuff out of my mind, as long as it hits certain beats. Now I said, because I'm pretty sure how the Flood came to be is not came to be, but when they first appear in the first Halo, the Covenant, I think, read something wrong, and they go to the ring, right? They think it's a weapons cache or something, and they go there, and all of a sudden everybody takes them out. Now that gets intercepted, that conversation gets intercepted by the UNSC, so they go there too, and that's when they find the Flood too, and the Flood fucking start fucking shit up. Or a couple of guys go and they get taken out, and then other guys go, whatever, but there's intercepted fucking communications and shit. I'm honestly hoping the Flood show up like in like episodes 5 or 6 or some shit. For some reason, I really want to see that stuff. But I did like this episode. I'd give this episode another like 7.5. The funny thing is, I'd actually grade the second episode maybe like a 5.5 lower than I did. I think it's at 6.5 because this episode was a better narrative-driven episode, and you had better reveals than the other one. And it's finally like, oh, I see this one compared to that one's better, but that one didn't. I didn't mind episode 2 that much. And episode 1 was cool as well. I'd go 7.5. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it at 7.5, 6.5, 7.5. I did like this one. Got to see some hunter action, right? Even if it was the worms doing their thing, it was still Covenant species. It was cool. And you saw them briefly in the armor, which was like just part of their body. I was actually like, it was cool seeing the worms all come out, but I was kind of hoping to see the woman there, and also like 2 fucking hunters are just behind her, just fucking with the plasma fucking cannons or whatever, just fucking kicking the shit out of everybody. But I don't think that would have made as much sense. It actually made sense the worms do their thing, and I wanted to see him start eating the shit. But I enjoyed this episode, the reveal of Cortana, and she's chatty and she's got the voice, so there's a lot of cool stuff there. And you see side stuff also starting to happen with Quan and Zoran. Because I'm sure, what Zoran, if I'm making predictions, Zoran's going to help her out in the fight, I bet. He's in it for the money, but he's going to be like, fuck it, I gotta help. They got a couple different things going on here, so it's starting to kind of open up a little bit. So I'm hoping for, I still want to see more Covenant shit. I just want to see more Covenant stuff. I just do. I want to see him fucking going to town on like fucking shit. Kind of like the first episode, but I want to see more. I want to see the grunts. I want to see the fucking everybody out there fucking shit up. And then I want to see a Flood. Like I said, though, I could see the Flood getting revealed in the last episode of this season for the cliffhanger into season 2. But I'm still enjoying it. It ain't fucking the games. It ain't the novels. It ain't as good in the lore front. They're fucking things up that way. I'm just gonna accept this show as its own thing. Because they even say based on the Halo universe. So they're just pulling stuff they want to pull. The obvious things, and they're gonna do their own thing with it. I can accept that as long as other things happen. As long as the overarching thing is, holy shit, this ring is meant to fucking wipe the Flood out. It's meant to wipe out the Flood's food source, which is every fucking thing else. Organic life form. As long as they hit those beats, whatever, It was never going to be exact. And myself, and I think everybody, we have to just understand, they're never going to make this shit exact. They're just not going to do it. For whatever reason, they didn't do it in The Witcher. They did it a lot better in The Witcher, but they still didn't do it in The Witcher. They fucked things up there, too. I've come to accept that more as long as it's still good. And I think, maybe I'm in the minority here, I think this is at least solid. It's not spectacular, but it's solid. And I still want to see more Covenant stuff. So I'm like, I like the reveal. I like the way everything looks. The Corvette, the fucking, what do they call it? Fucking UNSC ship. I forget what they call it. I think it's the same one as Forward Unto Dawn. It's the same fucking one. And the one from the first game, I can't remember what it was called. That was like a main ship. What they call that one? That one wasn't Forward Unto Dawn. That was a different one, wasn't it? I don't fucking know. Maybe it's the same one. But like I said, I'd go 7.5 on this. It's still not. It's good, but it's still not getting past that yet. Hopefully, it gets past it soon. But I like this one. There was more stuff going on. I guess these are reviews, recaps, because I'm recapping the episode at this point, right? They should be called recaps. Maybe I'll say review and recap from now on. I don't know if I missed anything, even though I watched it 2 hours ago. But yeah, thanks everyone for checking this out.